Hello everybody, Eugenie Mr. here one. Well, today's video is a little bit more personal than normal, right? Because today I'm not talking about severe weather in the States and either talking about the tropics. Today we'll be talking about Brazil, a tragedy in Brazil. I would like to start with this news piece here, right here, that I got from Correio Brasiliense, Brazilian Mail, right? Which would be the direct translation. It's not really good. So, tragedy in Rio Grande do Sul, 147 dead, and 2 million affected by the floods, according to civil defense, Brazilian civil defense. 447 out of the 497 municipalities in Rio Grande do Sul have been affected by the floods. So, this setup here, right here, of course, I'm leaving a link down below in the description for y'all to donate money if y'all are able to these people, because they really need historic flood. This is something that we never seen before in our country, and we need all the help that we can have right now. 500,000 people are homeless. 127 people are still missing. The number of deaths is just unfortunately probably going to continue to rise, as the setup is not over at all. Actually, I want to look here at Windy very quick, right? And you can see right here, Phoenix for the others. You can see right here that we are still having rain. Of course, very far away from what we had, but rain is still falling, which is worse. The worst case scenario you could have. Now, let's talk about the general idea, right? Why did this happen? And I'm not talking about the number of deaths, because honestly that's more part of the civil defense and the terrible response by the government. I want to give a meteorological explanation of what happened, right? Places also severe weather rise. We had 3 tornadoes and multiple severe wind and hail reports. So a very interesting setup that started in the April 26th, right? So when I was live streaming about severe weather in the US, the severe weather in Brazil had started. So I have this beautiful map here of Brazil, and I'm going to use it to explain what was the scenario in the start of the event. So I want to start here in the middle of the US, especially Paraná, São Paulo, Mato Grosso do Sul, Mato Grosso, Goiás, Minas Gerais, e Brasília. So, what is the general idea? Two opposites only. We have a big high pressure system, a big heat dome dominating this area of Brazil. So we have a heat dome, actually a heat wave. Temperatures have been in the 30s to 40s here for a long time. So yeah, we have a big heat dome right here, which is yet to be broken while I'm recording this video. So cold fronts that can come from the south, right, from Uruguay, are not able to pass. They are stuck here, which is probably the biggest cause of the entire setup. Cold fronts becoming stationary. So the setup is something like this. We have an atmospheric river coming from the Amazonian forest, ejecting mainly in Rio Grande do Sul and western Santa Catarina. I'm using here imagery here from GLOW models from Vitor Goede, by the way, thanks to them and to the Privados group in Brazil. And you can see here on April 27th, you can see right here the low-level jet kicking in at 150 millibars, by the way. You can see it, the level of jet kicking in, supporting both in moisture and in the wind shear wise the setup for significant severe weather. Right, so severe weather in general, and also the flooding. We have a low pressure system which is right around, if I'm not wrong, around here. No, it's around here in Uruguay, but extends all the way over into southern Brazil, right? We have a big cavalo, as we would say in Brazil. And here in southern Rio Grande do Sul, but mainly in Uruguay by April 26th, we have a cold front, right? So, with temperatures here in southern Brazil in low to mid 90s right now, we have low to mid 90s Fahrenheit, and dew points in the 70s up to maybe 80s, we have a perfect scenario for a disaster, because the cold fronts are going to be stuck in the heat dome and cause lots and lots of rain. Over 700 millimeters of rain, around I think 18 inches of rain have been locally reported, with 500 and 400 millimeters of rain being reported widespread in the whole state almost. So, the general synopsis here, let's start here with the general setup. By the way, I want to give credit to the group of votes. I've just mentioned them, but I'm going to mention them again because they were the main forecaster in Brazil, severe weather-wise, because the setup had both the flooding part, which was already a big issue, but also a severe weather part with, I think, 5 tornadoes being confirmed as of right now. Could be overdoing it, but I think it's 4 to 5. And Prevot did what the INMET, the National Institute of Meteorology, couldn't do. So multiple forecasts here from Prevot. Amazing work. They do it for free. They don't receive money for it. So it makes it only more incredible. So thanks to all of them, and also Vitor Guede for the footage that I'm seeing right here. From the actual model data that I don't have right now because I can't go back that far. But also we're going to look at a few model data from the grounds that we still have, right, from global models. Let me look here, load ECMWF, the Euro model. I want to go back here into the 10th, which is I think the best I'm going to get right now. So the general overview is we have, now it's going to be a little bit confusing because we don't have, it's a little bit different than the US, but by April 26th, which was the start of the show, we have a few short waves here in Argentina, Uruguay, and Rio Grande do Sul. You can see them expanding here on, why the hell do I have the same image twice? You can see them expanding in the April 27th event, with more short waves coming into the land, right? And with that, we have that beautiful, as I mentioned before, I can actually get back the tweet from Vitor Guede, right? You can see right here, beautiful, the week still, remember, it's just only day one, but textbook low-level jet here coming from the Amazonic forest. Also, you can see right here, the dew point here in the 70s, up, maybe actually acting up into the 80s here. Really high-end moisture thermodynamics. It's never normally not a big issue in the setups, especially in the in late summer, right? So late summer to early autumn. Well, that said, you can see right here, most unstable Cape. We have over 3,500 joules per Newton of Cape here in Argentina, and just insufficient Cape 2,000, 2,500 up to 3,000 here in southern Brazil. Remember, this is the 26th, right? Textbook on the level jet. Let's look textbook upper level look. Insane. The first big day actually was April 27th, where you have the main shortwave coming in, the cold front bashing through, and becoming lower, right? It's getting, we have this beautiful thermodynamic setup right here. As I mentioned before, having issues in the thermodynamics this early on in the year, right? We are in April. It's just after summer. It's very hot still. So yeah, thermodynamics are normally not an issue here in Brazil, in this time of year, right? So you can see low level jet very strong, and the and also the dew points here are very insane, honestly. So yeah, we have a textbook look. I'm going to get to this imagery here of the comparative reflectivity later. Not yet. Going into April 28th, right? The imagery is pretty much the same. The short waves come through, helping the initiation if a cold front wasn't enough. The level that's a little bit weaker. However, the thermodynamics are still pretty insane, right? So probably mainly here, considering the Cape over mainly Paraguay and Argentina, also probably a big event for the Hermanos. On the April 29th event, now it becomes very interesting. You can see multiple shortwaves still abroad in Brazil. And honestly, this doesn't look that interesting, but it's going to ramp up later in the on the short-term models. And also on April 30th, we continue to see the Dollar Jets also very strong, and we continue to see the Cape also very strong. Thermodynamics are not going to be an issue with this sort of setup. Now, on April 29th, we had a very a conditional but very interesting look for significant tornadic potential, right? The general idea is we had a descending cold front, right? So the cold front was here, right? As I said before, around here. It went, but now as a warm front came back. A little bit confusing, right? So the general idea is there are going to be a lot of convection, over convection, which was a possibility. However, we expected multiple rounds of multiple discrete to semi-discrete supercells in an environment extremely favorable for tornadogenesis. I mean, look at it all, Jet. So, you can see here the sounding here from Cruz Alta, WRF run by Prevost. Thank them once again. And you can see right here, surface-based Cape in the 3700. As I said before, not going to be an issue at all with these sort of setups. Mixed layer Cape in the 2600s. Most unstable Cape in the 3700, as I mentioned before. Level lapse rates not an issue at all. 0 to 3 kilometer level lapse rates in the 7.05s, and also the SRH 0 to 3 kilometer SRH in the 200s. Just in general, a very good environment for multiple tornadic circulations here, bringing an all hazards threat. Now, thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it was expected. Although I do think that more tornadoes happen than what is shown. But in general, we have poor radar footage and poor nowcasting. So poor to non-existent, but not going to call it non-existent right now. So you can see right here, very interesting setup. Also on May 1st, you had another high-end setup here that didn't perform as expected, at least not that we know of. We had a little bit conditional setup where it depended on the morning convection to leave place for multiple discrete to semi-discrete supercells in Argentina and also Rio Grande do Sul, and also in a very favorable environment, honestly, for tornadic rotations here. So honestly, this is even crazier than the environment we saw in the last setup. 3600 Joules Cape, 3200 mixed layer Cape, 0 to 3 kilometer level lapse rates in the 6.6, already decent. Look at that holograph. Remember, holographs are backwards in South America. And you can see right here, that is a beautiful holograph. This reminds me of the planes. Wow. And also, 0 to 3 kilometer SRH casually in the 1600s. Yeah, 600, sorry, not in 1600s. So the general idea is we had a disaster ongoing. As far as you know, it didn't go as bad, but thankfully, of course. But a few tornadoes probably happened considering the environment. Also, the Prevost group had issued a level 3 area for western Rio Grande do Sul. I'm not sure if that tornado was from April 27th. As far as you know, we did not have any information on tornadoes in these both days, but they looked very textbook. And now I want to get to the general part of this. You can see right here multiple days of level 2, level 3 potential, because the cold front just became stationary here in northern Rio Grande do Sul, which became quickly, and very quickly, a recipe for disaster. This is the level of the main river that goes through the capital of Rio Grande do Sul, right? The max it had reached was 4.76 meters, right? The peak one of 2023, where we had multiple disasters here in the Rio Grande do Sul as well, when multiple rounds of rain hit Rio Grande do Sul. We had 57 deaths. Honestly, seems low considering what we have right now. But the peak of the Guaiba River was 3.76 meters. You can see right here, right? And now you can see it got up to 5.05 meters. Earlier on this week, we had actually the river, right? Let me go a little bit before. We had the river going up into the 5.3 right now. What's the general idea? The on the observed data, we actually expected to go back up into 5.5 meters or 5.4. General idea. Remember, the river had not has we did have no information of the Guaiba River going higher than 4 meters before. It went to 5. It lowered down. It went again. Just a historical setup. Just shows how historical this setup is. So, what is the general idea right now? What is happening right now? Honestly, the recipe for the next few days is a complete disaster because the cold front will move through. We'll have cold, which is already not a good, not which is already better than what we had, but not amazing. If we look here at the GFS, we have temperatures in the 8 degrees Celsius, which is not going to help search and rescue, but already better than what we had, I guess. And another setup could actually develop in the 17th, right? This one is a little bit poor thermodynamically wise, right? So probably going to be the main thing keeping it from being another setup that we need to. Of course, we're going to still keep a look, taking a look at it, but it's probably going to be thermodynamically wise a little bit sad early on, right? On the 16th, on the 17th already probably going to get better. You can see once again the level jet here, the atmospheric river coming from the Amazonic forest kicking in. Cape on both global models is not showing to be extreme, which is very good. We really don't want to see more rain, right? Especially more severe weather on this setup. We really don't want. So you can see right here the short waves in the 16th. Look going into the on the 16th, on the 17th. You can see is honestly shear wise it's probably a very good setup, but very limited due to low instability. Thankfully, we really don't need another one. Although if we get like 1500s joules per Cape, it's probably going to already be a recipe for a decently sized severe weather event. Yeah, I didn't get a good sounding 3.9. What the hell? But yeah, it's another cold front coming in and bringing more rain. Actually, if I go back to windy here, which I just used because it's easier to show models here. If we're looking the next 10 days, right? Look at that. We have still 180, 170 millimeters falling, especially in the 20th. So it's not looking good right now. Let me go back to the 12 GFS, which showed the pretty much the same thing as it shows right now. Let me go into the 18th. The 18th setup. It's getting better thermodynamically wise, but probably a little bit weaker. Yeah, weaker. The level jet has fizzled out. Let's see the dew points here. The 15s are decent, but not amazing. And yeah, the temperatures are probably not going to grant that. CV at a risk. If they do overperform, they're going to build instability is going to be built and probably going to be a setup to be looking out for. Now going to the setup in the early 20s days, you can see. Let's look here at the 22nd. A lot of level activity here in the 500 millibar response, and on still on the 850 millibar response, not that bad as well. Hopefully that continues, because honestly the thing that we want the less is more rain at the moment that we are right now. Let me show you here the Euro model, right? The Euro model shows pretty much the same thing early on, right? You can see multiple short waves, probably going to be a little bit more aggressive with the low level jets, just because it's a little bit more aggressive. It's a trend that I see in the Euro model when I check here in Southern America. Hopefully, probably is the worst solution We have temperatures in the 22nd, 22s, dew points here in the 21s. Yeah, this probably will grant a severe weather setup in more rain, which is the thing that we want the least right now. Of course, pending on the development of stability and low cloud cover, which honestly is a little bit difficult to have here. Looking on the second setup in the 22nd right here, let me go there. And yeah, I've seen worse definitely, but not an amazing setup to have considering the situation that we have in our hand, right? So it's a very it's only honestly just mainly sad that the same areas are going to be hit again by more rain. Let me look at the Euro. You can see it right here. You can see that first cold front develops and boom, right? It's going to be the first one that's going to actually be capable of breaking that heat wave that I mentioned earlier on the video. Probably going to bring some maybe decently sized severe weather in that area, those areas. And then in the 22nd, we have more development of severe weather. Let me see here. The dew points, the Cape actually, sorry. What the Euro model is simulating in the Cape. Why can I find Cape? Okay, there you go, Cape Index. So, let's see. On the 21st, barely any Cape in general, which is good. On the 22nd, oh, okay, that's already worse. So 1500, it's not a lot of Cape, already going to help the development of a little bit of a severe weather setup. Let me see here, 500 on the 850 millibars. Yeah, you can see there's a level jet kicking in. Let's go back here to the setup in the 17th. You can see, wow, okay, that low level jet, that is textbook. That is 100% textbook. And you can see just the code from marches through. And then we have a few days of quietness until more rain comes. Honestly, it's the thing that we need the least right now. More rain, especially in the Rio Grande do Sul. So the Catarina is mainly fine. Just honestly, the main threat is severe weather. But when they see like more than 30 millimeters of rain in just like 5 days, it's something that we need to look out. So, for the people of Rio Grande do Sul, which are mainly just to the south of me, hopefully y'all will stay safe. Y'all are able to donate money or anything in general to these people because they really need to be able to recover. It's not going to be easy, but I think that we, as Brazilians, once again, will be able to recover from a historic severe weather and just weather flooding in general event. Hopefully the 147 people that we lost, at least that we know that we lost as of right now, will not be forgotten, that the government response will be better in the next few events. Thank y'all, stay safe from the severe weather that we have right now in the US. We have an enhanced risk, but I'm really not caring about it right now. I just need a little bit of time to recover from the pain that we have. Stay safe, y'all. I love y'all. Till next time. Peace and help you gonna do so, please.